Hello, hello. Welcome to Moonchild Coven. This is King Gaia, and this is our sacred space devoted to praising, supporting, cultivating, and empowering your divine Cancerian energy. If your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or Mercury is in Cancer, you're exactly where you belong. Cross watchers are welcome, but beware, honey. This is a Cancerian altar, okay? We're the mystics, the cosmic river, and the guardians of the fourth house. If you're new to my work, hi, welcome to my table. You're my boo now. I am a metaphysical teacher, Reiki alchemist, and shadow work coach, and of course, a fellow Cancerian. You know, it takes one to know one, right? So, I am here to help you understand, harness, and cultivate your power. Cancer rules emotions, emotional security, emotional intelligence, ancestry roots, and our sense of belonging. And we are stepping into our power as the baddest bitches of the zodiac. And I am here for it, 100%. Also, I host a weekly podcast called Big Deck Energy, The Alchemy of Self, which is a declaration of radical self love and authentic self cultivation. Each weekly episode is a free spiritual lecture on self mastery, exploring self love, love and relationships, divine purpose fulfillment. And we also explore the topic, we shuffle cards and invite spirit guidance on how to show up authentically in all aspects of our lives, emotionally, energetically, mentally, and spiritually. Okay. For each episode, I post a free energy cultivation guide to help you apply and integrate the lesson. And I'm going to post the link below so you can check it out. Okay. And on this channel, we gather twice a week, and I am your cheerleader and your spiritual instigator. Always eager and ready to gas you all the way up. So, quick one, two, three. One, my readings are different. We're here to cultivate self love and harness our magic. I am bringing to the table the leverage of spiritual guidance, strategic insights, and an arsenal of shadow work skills because we're not fucking playing. Okay. This, of course, is a general reading and it may or may not resonate with you based on your specific spiritual awakening process and where you are on your shadow work journey. So only take what resonates. Nothing that I can say will alter your true nature. Always honor your intuition, your free will, and your common sense, darling. Okay, I'm just a messenger reading energy. Okay. And number three, please consider subscribing to our channel, following on social, or sharing, this with every single Cancerian that you know. All links and relevant recommendations will be posted on the description box below, including a link to my website where I run our free self love circle, a weekly shadow work program, a monthly energy healing and core full moon ritual, very popular, and of course, our monthly tarot gallery. Yes, girl, we're busy here, so go check them out. We are building a strong community of self loving, heart centered individuals, and I will say 99.9% of them are Cancerians, okay? And you belong here. No. Okay, let's get right into this. Um, so, I'm very excited about this channel, right? This is my first video, and I was guided to create this channel a few months back, right? Right around the time when Jupiter planted in Cancer, and graced us with his presence, the almighty Jupiter. And you may already know that from June 9, 2025 to June 29th, 2026, Jupiter will be sitting in Cancer. And many of you are embracing this period as a lucky year for Cancerians. And we're going to tap into that today. We're going to chit chat about that. Um, One thing for sure happening is Cancerians are evolving. We are taking the lead and charging forward on our chariot, right? Some of us are jumping timelines and experiencing sudden quantum leaps. And because of that, we need to nurture, strengthen, and protect ourselves in order to stay afloat because it could get a little overwhelming. And that's why I'm here. That's why this channel is here. Our soul has been summoned to answer our divine calling, to bring our gifts forward and step into our purpose. And I can say that we are rising to the occasion. We are, Jupiter symbolizes expansion, growth, abundance, and wisdom. And it also represents prosperity and good fortune and a desire to broaden horizons through travel, education, or spiritual exploration. Just soul expansion in general, individual and collective, right? Because Jupiter encourages us to seek a greater understanding and embrace that personal and communal growth. And I know that some of you are associating Jupiter with abundance in the sense of money dropping out of the sky, right? And some of you are wondering, like, even demanding, honey bunny, demanding, like, where's my bag? Where's the good luck? When is this prosperity coming? And the big fucking nerve, big eye roll for you because, you know, let's not act entitled just because we're Cancerians. This is not cute. Jupiter is not your sugar daddy. Okay, Jupiter role right now. Huh? In case you are wondering, his role is more of a cosmic midwife, if I may. You know, Jupiter is helping us birth our next evolution. It is magnifying the call to purpose. Jupiter is a magnifier, but also insists on authenticity and embodiment because that's how you're going to be able to manifest and keep the bag. Okay, you manifest the bag and you keep it. It doesn't drop out of the sky. So listen carefully, Cancerians. We are rising, and this Cancerian ascension is intuitive, and it begins right into activating heart center leaders of the new earth. This is a big deal, by the way, no pressure. So, three questions that you need to be honest with yourself about, right? Dig deep, right? What are we rising above, right? What is this rising about, right? Number two is like, who's driving the chariot or the rocket, right? Are we, and what are we choosing to carry with them as we ascend, you know? Importance, because, what are we manifesting? What are we co-creating? What are we landing, And also, very important is to know that Jupiter is a magnifier, and we need to know what in the actual fuck are we magnifying. What are we magnifying? Because Jupiter magnifies what is already there. And we damn sure don't want to be magnifying no drama, not chaotic shit right now, right? So let's dive in. What is really going on? On the table, we can see here a message from our higher self. How can we ignite, cultivate, or deepen this ascension, this rising? And first, I think we need to address why us, why Cancerians, why are we rising? And I can feel my own peacock energy getting hard and shit. you know 5 things. It's easy. Cancerians are rising because the world is craving safety and soft power, and that's definitely us. After so many years of chaos and collective burnout, people are no longer impressed by dominance. They're drawn to emotional sanctuaries. In Cancer, we embody that empathy, care, and that intuitive safety. The world doesn't need another fucking warrior right now. It needs a guardian. It needs wholeness. It needs a motherly energy. Okay? And that's why we're being invited by the universe to step in, right? Also, another reason why Cancerians are rising is because the divine feminine is reclaiming their throne, and we are divine feminines. It doesn't matter what your gender is, honey. Cancerians are divine feminines. And we are the cosmic mother. We're the protector, the nurturer, the intuitive guide. So the rise of the feminine and this lunar consciousness is all across genders and identity, and is pushing this archetype into prominence. Sensitivity is now sovereignty. Okay. Number three reason why Cancerians are rising is the emotional intelligence. That's the new currency now, and we got that shit back down, right, to the T in business, leadership, community. Emotional literacy is essential, and we are naturally equipped, right? Cancerians naturally read the undercurrents. We sense what others cannot articulate, and that intuition now holds real world power. Number four reason why Cancerians are ascending, we're rising, is because roots and ancestry are being honored, right? The collective healing is calling people back to the roots, family karma, inner child shit. We need to do that. That's the work. And these are our domains as Cancerians. We are the sign of the homecoming and helping humanity find belonging again. And number five reason is that we are the key to authentic connection. you know and I know that sounds goddamn bold and cocky to say, but while AI and tech and all that shit, is growing, and the world is get colder and colder, and more distance, and less human contact, um the Cancerian frequency, baby, we bring that warmth, that connection, heart center, heart led purpose. And the world is going to remember that humanity itself is sacred, and there is no AI or robot or shit that's going to replace that. Okay. Um, we're now being invited to take inventory of our inner and outer world, to gain clarity and reclaim our power, and to make aligned decisions, especially useful, you know when if you're feeling stuck or out of balance, or ready to ascend but you don't know how, right? It is important that you assess what's working and what's not working in your life. You need to clear the clutter and redirect focus and create space for intentional upgrades. You need to be able to identify the wounds, honey. What are the areas of resistance and avoidance, and maybe where's the programming and the conditioning, because it is important that we realign with our authentic self and the higher vision, because that's where we clear our wishes. This is where we clarify our goals and our intentions and our true heart desires. And that is very important right now for us, for the Cancerian collective. When I said that Jupiter is not your baby daddy or your sugar daddy, I really mean it. And I want you to understand how this Jupiter energy is really going to benefit us. So this is the T on Jupiter before we get into this, because there's a lot here to explain. Jupiter is going to fortune the healed, because Jupiter magnifies what's already present. So if you're still clinging to chaos and emotional baggage or messy shit, Jupiter is going to amplify so that you can take care of it. So please do it on your terms before the universe intervenes with a tower moment or one of those dark night of the souls. Don't wait for the universe to do it for you. Handle your mess and take care of the garbage right now. Ask yourself, have you grieved, forgiven, detox, or restore? Or are you still emotionally constipated and expecting abundance? Give me a fucking break, right? You need to make room for the blessing. This is why you need to take the trash out. The theme for Jupiter is alignment, is energetic architecture. Jupiter is going to bless us, but we have to be ready to receive. And that means clearing physical clutter, emotional debris, financial chaos, and any unstable foundations. You know, Simple. Have you cleaned your home, your closet, your altar, your inbox, your credit, right? Because Jupiter is going to expand whatever the fuck it finds, organized or chaotic. So ask yourself, are you creating a stable environment for these blessings to land and grow? Or are you still living in this, emotional hoarding energy? Because we're Cancerian, we do that. We're very emotional. We get attached and we don't let go shit. And that is going to work against you, right? Prosperity requires purpose. That's another thing, okay? Um, Meaning luck is not going to be random. It is your reward for doing the work, for showing up for yourself with courage and consistency. Sometimes it's dharma or ancestral inheritance that's going to show up. So it's not like a lottery. It might be a lottery for some of you, but this is more like harvest. If you want elevation and prosperity, your inner world must match it. Your vessel must be ready first. So ask yourself, why do you want this money? What are you going to do with this money? How would your life change when this prosperity arrive? How would you use it? How would you grow it? How would you protect it? Because wealth and prosperity also demand worthiness. And Jupiter is not going to reward any shame based or ego based receivers. If you're feeling like unworthy or guilty or not ready or confused about your value, you will sabotage that bag or you're going to miss it altogether. And on the other end, if you think that you're entitled to it, honey, there's other things coming for you, right? This transit asks you to embody abundance consciousness. You need to trust your inherent value, your deserving, your readiness. Do you believe that you can hold the abundance that you crave, or are you scared of what will come with it? These are questions that are very important to clarify because you are under this huge magnifier, right? And last but not least, please clear the cords. You cannot take, and it's here on the table. This belladonna, right? You cannot take parasites or leeches into the palace. You're the one wearing the crown. Don't be dragging garbage into the palace. Jupiter is in Cancer, um, and is an opportunity for rebirth. On into emotional sovereignty. And that means core cutting, that means psychic boundaries, that means ancestor healing and karmic separations. All of that is happening right now. You have to let go. Let go of the people that you're trauma bonded with, or trauma bonded to, all the illusions, all that, nonsense that we're harboring emotionally. This is the homecoming of your throne. And I need you to ask yourself, my dear Cancerian, who still has access to the healed version of you that didn't earn it? You heard that. Have you outgrown what you're keeping? You keep petting these low energies. Why? Why do they have access to the healed version of you? Do they earn it? Do they deserve it? Are they worth of your energy and presence? Okay, so this is what's on the table for us from spirit. Collective wise, as a collective, it is safe for us to rise. We're being supported as we ascend. So every shift, every turn is nourishing. It's not going to drain you. If you feel drainage, if you feel something is off, check your surroundings, right? Who's there? Where are you? What's happening? Elevate your sense of awareness collectively, right? you know how can you ignite, cultivate, or deepen your ascension, right? For the first deacon Cancerian, this is if you are born from June 21st to July 1st. This is your message. You ascend by questioning everything. The page of source is a very curious one, right? You're questioning everything. You're even questioning, the stories that you have outgrown. Your mind is sharpening, and your vision is wide, getting wide. wide open, right? Um, and your intuition is speeding up, speaking your truth without apologizing for your clarity. And each new insight is like a step deeper into your evolution, you know. So this period, you know, this phase is about nourishing yourself with mental freedom and reassuring that you're not behind. You know, there might be a thought process out there that you feel that you're falling behind. And I can actually relate because I feel that all the time. You know, like I'm running out of time. Like there's a clock, but there's not a clock, right? The belladonna reference. I don't know if you remember, you know, the movie Practical Magic, where you know the sisters have to use belladonna to calm that guy, and they end up killing him. You know, this it's because he becomes so overwhelming and obsessive and consuming. And you know, they didn't mean to harm him. You know, she just wanted to create space and breathe and reclaim her autonomy. But the extremity of the situation got out of hand, right? Um, the message for you particularly is not to shrink yourself to be loved, you know, not to lose your freedom to maintain a bond, right? um, you need to maintain clear boundaries, and you are able to see the truth. You know, you're not gonna let someone charm cloud your clarity. You know, your intuition is on point, it's sharp as shit right now. So trust the small red flags and freedom first. Always, 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 always. Okay. For our second deacon Cancerians, you guys are the intense, the magnetic ones with all that emotional fearlessness. If you're born from July 2nd to July 12th, this is your reading. Your ascension, how can you ignite, cultivate, or deepen your ascension is definitely allowing your inner child and your inner mystic and your inner artist to breathe again. You know, the Page of Cups is also curious and very, you know, I know this this guy looks a little emo, but that's not the energy. It's like he's opening himself to something new, right? um, your psychic sensitive side is heightening, you know. So you need to let your emotions inspire you, not overwhelm you. You're gonna allow intuition to lead you, not the logic. You know, in this case it was more of the logic, you know, the thoughts, the mindset aspect. For you it's more of the emotional aspect, because this ascension for you feels comforting, because what's returning to you is a deeper emotional innocence, you know, pure heart, right? And for you, the belladonna message is it's emotional discernment, because your heart is opening again. So you make sure that you're not romanticizing toxicity. You're going to let love in, but you're not going to let fantasy to override boundaries. Boundaries is really important for us Cancerians, okay? Very, very important. um, for our third weekend, July 13th to July 22nd, honey. Oh, this is like fast energy. Your ascension is very fast, and you know the third deacon Cancerian is the actual, it has the Pisces energy. You know, you're the mystical visionary, very empathic, and when something empathic go through that fast movement, it gets very magnetizing, but it's very intense. So your message, you know, is you're going to follow the flow. You're going to move with the energy, not against it, because the pack is clearing quite quickly for you. You know, the synchronicities are going to accelerate, the communications is going to intensify, and your manifestations are picking up speed, right? So don't slow down to overthink, just trust the moment. You know, we're already being reassured as a collective that the universe is that are back, that the universe is carrying us, and for you it's going to also amplify your signal and aligning the outcomes faster than you expected. right? For you, the belladonna, the belladonna message is that someone is going to come in hot and fast, or maybe a little bit overwhelming. So stay aligned with your path. Do not detour for anyone who tries to claim your time or energy or direction. That is going to be a distraction. It's important to stay focused. To stay focused, okay? Okay, so now on the table, I'm bringing my very own um, Lantern Tarot Oracle, which is a tarot oracle deck created to, you know, help you interpret and illuminate, the urgencies of your shadow self, right? What's underneath. This is the Lumina version. There's two versions. There's the Lumina and the Ether. The Ether has a dark aesthetic. This one is more of a rainbow one. Okay, I'm gonna link it below for you to check it out. And before we dive into that, before we dive into your shadow work for the week, I want you to know that as a fellow Cancerian who relates to how you feel and how you emote, I want you to understand that you are now actively manifesting, and what and how you're manifesting is completely up to you. You're the vessel. You decide what to carry within. Okay. If you want love and happiness and success and prosperity and wellness, peace, longevity, whatever, you need to be proactive. And it is your responsibility to stay vigilant on self discovery, vigilant of your energy and resources, and fully engaged in co-creating your reality. Okay, because the universe got our back. Okay, all we have to do is stay aware, right? So I have three recommendations for your consideration, because I want to make sure that I am bringing to the table more than just a spark of illumination, but also a way for you to initiate your healing and apply the guidance and step into your transformation. So three things for you to consider. One is get yourself educated on shadow work. What is shadow work? Real life shadow work. What it looks like for you. I want you to learn to discern truth from myth. Understand the dynamics, the approaches that resonate with you, the benefits, how to make shadow work for you. I wrote a book about it that shares everything that you need. It's available in both print and ebook, and it's on my website. Read it, get yourself educated, and make informed decisions about your inner work and the direction of your life. And the second recommendation is get to know yourself, all that is you, everything that makes you unique, divine, powerful. Understand both your weakness and strength so that you can truly master yourself. It is time to dive into your shadow self and discover what are the wounds, the self limiting beliefs, the unconscious programming, or the social conditioning that is secretly influencing the experiences and your ability to manifest your life experiences in general, right? And I am linking a free self discovery shadow kit PDF for you to get started on your self discovery quest. It's created specifically for Cancerians. Also consider booking a shadow profile one-on-one shadow self consultation with me. I can record it for you. I can record the video and email it to you, or we can do it together live on Zoom. Your choice. Your shadow profile is an intuitive Akashic reading, and it's like meeting your shadow self. It's revealing the unconscious patterns, the protective mask, and the hidden wounds that are shaping your mindset, your emotions, your energetic field, and everything that's quietly shaping your choices and your relationships and your self-perception. Um, Also, a shadow profile will reveal what is ready to be healed, to be nurtured, to be protected and empowered or reclaimed. Okay. I'm also providing links for that. And last but not least, if you prefer a more gradual exploration of your inner world, consider getting your very own copy of the Lantern Tarot Oracle deck. This is a mystical tarot oracle. It's a tarot and an oracle combined. It's a combination deck, and it's created to illuminate your shadow self urgencies. There's 130 cards. It's minimalistic, and it delivers both, the self the introspection and the inspired action guide. Um, and even a one card pull like we're going to do today, it will help you dive deep into, both the obvious and the hidden shadow themes or narratives in your life right now, things that you may or may not be aware of. So this is perfect. It's the perfect tool for meditation, for daily self-assessment and daily journaling. Yeah. And yes, of course, I'm blowing my own horn here because I know the power of each one of these recommendations and how they will serve you. I am 100% confident that they will guide you towards the direction that your soul is already leaning into. Okay? You're the magician, you're the sage, the co creator of your life. And again, you're the vessel, and you're going to decide what energy you want to hold within or not. And that for Cancerians, it's like, my gosh. Oh my, did you see that? You saw that. You saw that, right? Oh my gosh. How can I cultivate patience in nurturing my growth in self love? Right? Patience, right, is the key word. And it's so in alignment with what we were talking in today. What we're talking here today, our growth, the ascension cannot be rushed, right? We cannot force it to happen. We just need to allow and trust. Our job is to clear the path. Make sure that we're in alignment. Make sure that we are embodying what we want to attract, right? Um, let's see, 56. Let's dive into the inspired action. Of course, the Seven of Pentacles represent progress and reflection, assessment, and it's all about the delayed gratification. It emphasizes the process of nurturing long-term goals and patiently wait for the fruits of your labor. The key word is patience, and emphasizes the importance of trusting the process, allow it to unfold naturally, and having confidence that what you have employed, that you already have employed, the right tools and methods to achieve successful outcomes. Reflecting on these introspective questions can help you illuminate that self-love is a journey that demands consistent effort and time. You need to keep showing up for yourself, pretty much, right? This is an invitation to pause, assess your progress, and trust in the process of transformation. Just as a caterpillar cannot rush its metamorphosis into a butterfly, be patient with yourself and the outcomes of your efforts. Baby. Okay, inspire action. The universe recommends to pause to evaluate your progress, to nurture self love through consistent action, and to honor presence and emotional investment. Okay. This is all for today, my darling. See you Wednesday for our Wednesday shuffle. Thank you for watching. King Gaia out.